Street culture keep the big shows. One set of girls and banner. Cause I done fed up, you done fed up, he done fed up, she done fed up, we done fed up, the people fed up. They hiding corruption inside the cup, look how evil set up. The people fed up. Every picture you take and promise you make, everything you do is about clouds. When you come into me for I shake your hand, there's nothing to smile about. Corruption inside every sector, but when it comes to them, they send you. Try investigate efficiency, right? Go talk to Baratans too, cause I done fed up, you done fed up, he done fed up, she done fed up, we done fed up, the people fed up. You're hiding corruption inside the cup, look how evil set up. The people fed up. I done fed up on the dirty water, low pressure, want scream and tell somebody. Imagine 1500 US and they're telling me super salary. I done fed up on the unemployment racism and the lie they say one-Guyana. Cause when you look with the oil money going, circulate with one set of banner. Cause I done fed up, you done fed up, he done fed up, she done fed up, we done fed up, the people fed up. You're hiding corruption inside the cup, look how evil set up.
Yeah, my name is Jacinty Caldata Francis Wakenham, and since 1965 I become a voter, and I always place my ex next to the cup, and what they are doing today I can't take it, so I have no more vote to give to PPP anymore. I'm not going to vote anymore no more. If they have to lose by one vote, they're losing it by data.
Oh, Jesus Christ, if cost of living double, I don't know what happened. A pound of sugar is $300 already. Flour, everything gone up. Everything just raising. You gotta get about $40,000 for buy good ration. You gotta get 3 man now. A weekend man, a monthly man, and a fortnight.
There and fabricate that. Unless you say who the person is, I can't comment on anonymous people.
Okay, well, let's talk about specific individuals. What is your relationship with Mr. Su Jurong?
Su? Oh, Su? My relationship? Nothing. He's a tenant in my place, yeah.
And he's a good friend of yours?
Yes, yes, he is a friend of ours.
He is a friend. A friend. Su. Thus far, nothing about Su. September 1st is elections. Nothing about Su. Corruption upon corruption upon corruption galore. But yet Jagdale sits at his so-called press conference and pretends that all is well. Pretends as though he has taken over from Guyana, the local pope in Guyana who has since died. I don't know what's happening. It's 9 minutes after 9 o'clock. My name is Mark Benchop. Welcome to Straight Up. Can our executive producer please get in touch with Mr. Thomas Anderson? Thomas, we invited him last evening. We said, hey, Tom, we'd like for you to return. You've been absent. You've been away. You've been busy. We understand you have a busy schedule. You're probably looking to put some other politician behind bars, because 11 years for that politician out in New Jersey. Thomas Anderson, congratulations. Go after the corrupt ones, not just in the United States of America, Tom, in Guyana too. Look at what they did at the Guyana Elections Commission's headquarters. They raided the place. They threatened the life and the lives of others there at GCOM, including the life of, you know who, I don't really want to call her name, Claudette Singh. Claudette Swing. Claudette swing and sing. I don't know what's happening, but when was the last time you guys heard from Claudette Swing? She doesn't say a word. Not a word. We got to ask Tom and our executive producer. Maybe we have to look for a new executive producer. Just like Lemon's got to go too. Everybody's got to go. Everybody's getting fired tonight in this studio. Lemon, pack up and get out of here. Just go. Just go. Yeah, that's it. Tonight, that's it. They're getting fired. If Sean Anthony Ben is watching, tag him. Tell him to come. We got a job for him. Finally, he got something to do with his entire life other than fixing cars. Yes. September 1st is elections. You've got to go out and vote. Our executive producer hasn't been able to get in touch with Thomas yet, but let me show you. What can we do? There we go. We got Tom. So our executive producer is back on the job. Thomas, how are you doing, sir?
Great. How's everyone tonight? Hello, everybody. Hello, everyone in Guyana, Georgetown tonight. Good evening.
Georgetown tonight. We're going to rock and roll. Good night to all of you, every single one of you. People already calling for Tom. Somebody says here, Janet, is it Elias? That's probably a new listener here tonight. Janet Elias, never seen her here at all. Well, good night and welcome to our program, Janet Elias. Janet Elias says, Tom listening to how Ted Cruz getting demolished. I don't know. Ted Cruz getting demolished. But Tom, let's begin right off the bat. Ceasefire, Israel and Iran. The President of the United States of America announced that there's a ceasefire. That's it. Yeah, it's done. Talk to us a little bit about that, please, sir.
Well, I just wrote a piece about it, actually. And, the ceasefire, from Trump's perspective, he's trying to win a Nobel Peace Prize. And so it's a ceasefire. He's trying to be the most peaceful man in the history of American politics. And whether he can do it in real life or not, that's a question. But as far as the rhetoric goes, and as far as the branding goes, he's out there doing ceasefires. Now, reality on the ground is the Iranians and the Israelis have been fighting each other for a long time, and that's not going to stop anytime soon, no matter what President Trump says. So this is a little bit of a situation where the President of the United States wants to win an award, and he's trying to win it based off of something that, really probably isn't going to happen in the Middle East, because these guys have been in each other's throats forever, and it's not going to stop now. It doesn't matter what Trump does, right? So that's where we are on that.
It's not, I don't know, Tom, you seem to have upgraded your microphone system. We're getting a slight echo from your side, because we're pretty advanced at this side. We're getting a slight echo. I've noticed that you've changed around your studio a little bit. Congratulations on that. But your article dealt with Trump's attempt to win a Nobel Peace Prize just took a dark turn. What do you mean by that, please?
Yeah, so he's trying to get a Nobel Peace Prize, but these guys in the Middle East, they're still fighting. And it's now all hell's broken loose, and it's every man for himself. And now our troops are being attacked in the Middle East. And so oil prices are spiking. This has gone from him winning a peace prize, a Nobel Peace Prize, to the economy now being hurt and more war breaking out within the region.
I don't know. That's it. What's happening? Well, at some point in time, there's got to be peace. Got to be peace. If it's not Iraq, or as you would say, Iraq, it's Iraq and Israel, or the Gaza, Israel, Palestine, Israel, and then you have those vagabonds in Venezuela. They've gone really quiet now, Tom, as they lay claim to 2/3 of Guyana. Are you surprised that Maduro in Venezuela is so quiet?
Well, that's another hot spot, and he's hiding underneath the Chinese, and he's trying to maneuver with those guys, and also trying to reconnect with the Russians, who have been preoccupied in Ukraine. So that's a whole nother problem there. But with that said, what's happening in Guyana has an impact on that, and the PPP being in charge, I believe, emboldens Maduro, and it emboldens the Chinese and others to continue with the behavior that creates this sanctions atmosphere. And my biggest worry with Guyana is that things politically unwind to a point where Guyana ends up in some type of sanctions regime. And that's the one guaranteed way to see your nation be impoverished, is underneath a sanction regime the way that Maduro has. But Maduro likes it because with sanctions, he gets to keep all the money for himself. right? And that allows them to keep all the power. And so that's where, when you look at the PPP and how they speak and how they behave and act, it looks like they're pushing towards that type of situation where they'll be the ones at the top, the country will be under sanctions, and that'll allow them to enrich themselves while the country stays poor, and they'll just blame the sanctions for it. That's what Maduro's doing. So that's how I look at Guyana, and I look at, well, that could be the potential future with the PPP. That's why I continue to speak out, because no one wants that situation. I don't. I know no American does. But at the end of the day, there are people who are very greedy who would like that situation in Guyana of sanctions and basically having all of your oil wealth stolen from you systematically through a sanctions regime.
All right, and a sanction regime can do a lot of hurt, a lot of harm, to the entire nation. You cannot move forward with sanction regimes. We see what's happening in Venezuela. We see what happened with other regimes that have been sanctioned, heavily sanctioned. Let's move away from that for a moment, Tom. I know you've been quite busy, but I'm certain that you saw at least little glimpse of the funeral of Adriana Young. Your take on the fact that there has been no movement towards seeking justice by the government, seeking justice for that little girl. Your take.
Once again, you have a situation where the government just can't do their job for the most vulnerable in the country. And so all they can do now is just cover up a tragedy, a horrible murder of a beautiful young girl, right? And something that the world saw. And so this is going to have a huge impact on the country going forward for these elections. Whether they want to sweep it under the rug or not, it happened, it's there, and people see it and people feel it. And so this isn't going anywhere. It's only going to continue to get bigger. And I continue to tell people, organize around this. Make sure that you don't allow her memory to disappear. Make sure that you connect her memory and her life to something that's productive and something that can change Guyana for the better, so that in the future, the young people like herself, innocent, can be protected, and you don't have a government all at the highest levels covering up a murder.
Highest level covering up a murder. People are still calling. Let me say, Tom, I know also with your travels, you're back. You're a little bit under the weather, but yet you said, hey, Mark, I'm going to come to talk to your audience. And I really do appreciate that, Tom, you taking the time out, even under the circumstances. But let me ask you, what can it take? What can it take to have the FBI go in Guyana to investigate this murder?
I have mixed feelings about that, because you have to have the support of the home nation and the government of the home nation of anywhere the FBI goes to. I just don't know if the PPP would provide this type of support that the FBI would need to conduct a fair and unbiased investigation into it. I just think the PPP, they're so biased on this, and there are things that they are covering up on this that make it so that they're not going to be a good partner with the FBI. And so that's why I look at the situation. I wonder if the FBI could be effective, because here's the thing. Like I say, they have to have the support of the home nation. And, I just don't see the PPP giving them that type of support. I don't see the police, the Guyana police force, giving the FBI the type of support that they would need in order to conduct a thorough and credible investigation. So that's the issue there. Can Guyana become a nation that can welcome in investigators from the FBI and give them the help and assistance they need to conduct an investigation into something that became an international incident? Can Guyana become that nation? Because right now, I don't believe Guyana is that nation right now. I don't believe the FBI can go to Guyana right now and conduct a fair investigation and get everything they need from the PPP. I don't believe it's possible. And so that's the problem there. And it would be really horrible if the FBI were to get involved and the PPP do nothing but sabotage them the entire time, so that they can't really get a real investigation off the ground. That would be a horrible situation, but that's probably what would happen, unfortunately. So that's where we're at, and I don't know if Guyana can become that country underneath the PPP leadership, but that's the type. This is the type of stuff that the people of Guyana have to be asking for. Is, hey, if the PPP cannot provide the type of law enforcement needed to conduct an investigation into the murder of an innocent child, if they can't provide that type of law enforcement domestically, then they have to be able to credibly reach out to foreign law enforcement and give them the tools they need to do such a, but they can't even do that. And so how useful are they when it comes to something like this? And is something like this important to the people of Guyana? That's the question. And that's the stuff that elections are about. Is this going to be on the ballot, this issue? And is it going to be painted this way, where the PPP are essentially useless, not only useless with being able to conduct domestic investigations into murders of little children, but they're useless in being able to invite outside investigators in to give them what they need to do the job. So what is their purpose as a government? You have to start asking yourself that. And those are the type of things that need to come up in the election, I think. And that's what the issue should be about, especially when you're talking about Adriana Young.
Well said, Tom Anderson. For us, on the 24th day of June 2025. And so, Tom, you did say that they need to bring in international investigators. They did bring in one guy. What's your take on this one guy?
It's wild stuff, man. This is wild stuff. And so this is the problem. Like, if anyone wants to know why outsiders, international people, would look at the situation in Guyana and go, I would like to invest there, but I'm not going to do it, here's the reason why. Because you have a situation where something goes off, something goes real bad, and it becomes an international incident, and it involves a little child, right? And the best they can do is bring in, basically Inspector Clouseau to try to figure out something. But the guy couldn't figure out anything, and he comes and he leaves, he took his check, and that's it. Like, that type of law enforcement on the international stage is not going to be acceptable by anybody outside of Guyana. I'm sorry. Okay, and so we get back to this. Do the people of Guyana want a government, right, that does this to them? Or do they want a government that has the ability, if they can't domestically investigate it, do they have the ability to bring in credible outside investigators to get the job done and provide them with the stuff they need to do the job? Who can do that in Guyana? The PPP cannot do that job, clearly. With all the oil wealth they have, with all the resources they have, they've got professional lobbyists they brought in from the United States. They've got all this going for them. But they couldn't put together a crack investigative team to look into the murder of a little child that became an international incident, something that the president of the country had to speak on, that the vice president of the country had to speak on. I mean, come on now. This is big stuff. This isn't little stuff. Big stuff. And it's being fumbled in a way that's laughable. And so for people on the outside looking in, people on the outside are saying, hey, man, that's a place where it's run bad. And on top of that, it's all scam stuff. And on top of that, if you want to get involved in that place, you're going to be very corrupt. You're going to have to pay everybody off. You're going to bribe people. And you're probably going to get involved in some type of murder and mayhem. That's how it looks for an outsider looking at Guyana right now. And this Adriana Young case exemplifies all of that in one issue.
In one issue, indeed. And when you go on September 1st to cast your ballot, cast it against the corrupt PPP regime. This guy is accused of being part of the death of Adriana Young. Accused, that is. And Tom, it's just not, it's weird that the same guy on the screen there is accused of murdering this guy. And the mother of this guy Juman, is still awaiting justice. There is no justice at all. Similar circumstances, Tom. He was murdered at the hotel and his body was placed into the pool. Similar circumstances. I don't know. What's your take on that? Similar
I mean,
circumstances.
it's I'm telling you, these are the stories. And so when I see people in the United States politically say, "Oh yeah, we're going to get involved in Guyana," I laugh a little bit in my mind because I go, "Well, you're going to get involved in a place with this, which you're with just murders happening, and there's nobody investigating it. I mean, just obvious murders, obvious people being abducted in broad daylight. I mean, what's going on in Guyana, man? And not just Guyana, but the entire region of the world. That place, it's on fire, okay? And it's sad because it doesn't have to be that way. And I think greed is what's driving most of it, unfortunately.
Great indeed. Tom Anderson. So sad. The mother, family of this young man, Juman, that was murdered at that very hotel where Adriana Young was murdered. Similar circumstances where the body was placed into the pool. Similar circumstances, same suspect, two murders, same suspect. Juman murdered, suspect right there. Adriana Young murdered, suspect, same suspect. What is the PPP, or why is the PPP protecting this guy? So, Tom, let's go now to the guys who were recently sanctioned. Nothing at all. A senior police officer was part of that sanction list. Not a word from the PPP as to whether this guy was removed immediately from the Guyana police force or what's the case with these other guys. Are you surprised that the PPP is so silent? Just as they were silent with the Mohammeds. When the Mohammeds were sanctioned, they did nothing until months. It's only now that we see that they are against the Mohammed, but they did everything to protect the Mohammeds, just like they are now protecting these guys who were sanctioned. Why the silence coming from the PPP regime, sir?
Well, they're under pressure, okay? They're under a lot of pressure. These sanctions are real. They bite. They hurt. And it's hurting their pockets, I'm sure, because there's a lot of corruption going on. And so they're in a bad spot, and they have to try to find a way to get out from underneath this, all right? And I believe they're doing that with their lobbyists, and they may be able to get out from underneath it. But however they do it, I'm pretty sure it's going to entail what is rightfully owned by the people of Guyana, unfortunately. So I believe that they're just going to position themselves as PPP. If you want to know how they fix this, they're going to try to find a way to pay off everybody they can pay off to make this stuff go away, period. And that's how I see this. So that's why I speak, because, being a government watchdog and having seen the flows of, laundered money, drug trafficking and everything through South America into the United States, I've learned that there is a class of politicians and a group of bureaucrats in the United States. Some people call them the deep state, call them whatever you want. But these guys use the U.S. government to get in on countries like yours in Guyana so that they can benefit themselves and pocket cash by joining sides with a corrupt regime. That's what happens. So I'm here to speak against that because I don't want to see that, because that's what creates failed states. That's what creates situations where people are living hell on earth. And I can see it happening, and I can see it forming. So if you want to know why I speak against the PPP, it's because I see them trying to partner up with corrupt elements in our government here in the United States, right? I see it happen. And I'm trying to stop that because I have been against corruption in the United States for a very long, almost 20 years now. And that's my job. So yes, I'm opposed to it. I'm standing in the way of it. I'm speaking against it. And everybody needs to understand that the way the PPP is going to try to get out from underneath this is by corrupting people in our government within the Trump administration. They're going to try to pay their way out of it. I'm telling you, that's the case. And I see the Trump people who are trying to maneuver to do that right now. I see them. And they know right now as I'm speaking, they're probably very mad that I'm saying this, but it's the truth. And the reason why I'm saying this is because Guyana is not the place to play these games. They can play these games in other places like Panama or wherever, but I don't believe Guyana is the place to play these games. I say that because I have a lot of experience in the zone. I understand the region. And I think it's a horrible mistake for anyone in the United States government to try to get into some type of corrupt agreement with the PPP regime in Guyana. Such a thing will open the floodgates to China, their influence, and that will topple the Guyanese people. It will create dictatorships throughout the region, and it will make it so that China will have a solid lock on everything from Mexico all the way down to Brazil. All right. So I am 100% against that, but there are many, many forces who do not want to hear my voice on this. And that's China, that's all the corrupt people in the United States, and it's all the PPP as well. So this is not an easy job I'm doing, just so you guys know.
Certainly not easy at all. Tom Anderson with us here, government watchdog. And these individuals who were sanctioned, thus far, none of them formed a political party. None of them say that they're running for president of Guyana. And they have money. At least two of them have millions upon millions of dollars. And if they form a political party, I don't know, they'll join company with Azruddin, but any one of you guys out there will support these guys for president? Would you say that it's just mere allegations and they can just run for president too? Would you guys embrace them just like you're embracing Azruddin? I'm just asking a question here. Tom, as we look into Guyana, elections around the corner, what are you seeing in terms of the opposition being prepared?
Well, I mean, it's pieces are moving, people are talking. I mean, it's getting more and more serious. You know, it's typical Guyanese election, it looks like. And so I cheer it on. I give my little 2 cents, you know, but it's not up to me. You know, it's up to people of Guyana. And I'm going to be here regardless of whoever wins. And so that's the case there. It looks good, some of the stuff that the opposition has been able to do. It looks like the AFC, to me, they're trying to play, you know, both sides of the fence. I don't like politically groups who try to play both sides all the time. That's the AFC, okay? I don't like that. I hate that.
When you say, Tom,
Yeah.
sorry to cut you, though, but when you say the AFC is trying to play both sides, break it down for us, please.
Well, they're trying to, you know, put themselves in a position where if where they partner with the APNU in such a way so that if the APNU wins, right, they get a huge amount of political power they probably should have never gotten. But if the APNU loses, right, they can take the credit and partner with the PPP and say, hey, we actually helped you guys beat the APNU. And that's how they're trying to position themselves, okay? And so that type of crap to me is some crap. I don't like it. It's obvious how they're doing it, and they're very clumsy about it, which makes it so bad, right? So I see that, and I just go, man, those guys are getting in the way of the people of Guyana, the AFC, more than anybody else. I believe they are the ones getting in the way of the people of Guyana more than anybody else. Okay, I know people aren't saying that, but that's just my opinion as an outsider. They tend, to me, they tend to look for any type of momentum so they can steal it for themselves, and they end up fumbling it so the momentum dissipates. And it's just like, you guys aren't that good politically at all. Could you please just, whatever, move to the side a little bit and stop messing everything up? I don't think they can do that. I think they're going to continue to try to get in the way, continue to try to steal any type of momentum for themselves. And in doing that, they're going to hurt the APNU and may even help the PPP get elected.
Well said, Tom Anderson there, 36 minutes after 9 o'clock. But how fragile is the PPP regime? Of course, in the beginning when we saw Trump administration back in power, the PPP was jumping on the mountaintop, pretending as though Trump is going to save them. Marco Rubio went there. It seems as though he forgot about them. They struck a deal with Elon Musk. We no longer hear about Elon Musk. Your good friend was back there in Guyana. What's his name again? Mike Pompeo. Nothing from Mike Pompeo again. What's happening with this relationship?
Yeah, man, this is.
Or those relationships?
I think there's just a bunch of corruption that's about to come down the pike. I think this administration is ready to open up Pandora's box and just let all the corruption the world's ever seen just unload into the nation of Guyana. And I think the PPP are trying to position to make that happen. That's what it looks like to me. And hopefully it doesn't happen, but if it does, hard times ahead for everybody.
Hard times ahead for everybody. Hope Marco Rubio understands that. He seems busy these days. Forgot about Guyana. Mike Pompeo, we're not hearing much about Mike Pompeo, despite a couple of days ago he mentioned something about Iran, and you know why he that about Iran. Tom, there's some other things that we want to talk about because I know you're a little under the weather, so we'll spend a few minutes more with you. But before we allow you to go, I want you to listen to this a few minutes of this here. A death squad member connected to the PPP regime. This is what he had to say.
No, I can't take that. I can't live with that. I could only take with me own. Why responsible? Me responsible for nothing. Me ain't got nothing to do with that.
What are you responsible for?
What are I responsible for? Years ago, they said I was in some killing squad. I can't deny that. I would not sit here and deny that. If I wasn't a part of killing squad, this country wouldn't have got law and order and stop to come to some thing because they were Sean Brown and Dale Warren and what these people name? Chip Teeth and all these guys who used to.
Are we talking about the same Phantom squad?
We talking about the Phantom and Death Squad is two different squads. I don't know. People get it mixed up. There's a Phantom and there was a Death Squad. A Phantom, I understand it.
Which one were you
I was in a Death Squad.
Death Squad. Who
right?
was your boss?
Right. Well, the boss was a man named Axel Williams who I work under. When these guys, late in the night, you would see fire, people burn up, people in car and the seawall. And
he's admitting that he killed on behalf of the government, on behalf of senior members of the Guyana police force. He's still around, walking around Guyana like nothing has happened. Tom, what went through your mind as you were listening to that Death Squad guy?
Yeah, I mean, this is what's going on, man. You've got people walking around the streets of Guyana who are straight murderers, and they just walk the streets like it's nothing. And the police, if anything, they help these guys, like he was saying, they're part of the murderer crew. So, I mean, you want to talk about a dangerous place on planet Earth, try hanging out in Guyana a little bit, all right? Okay, because one of the most dangerous places on Earth gotta be, period. Because this country, Guyana, and the PPP, they've got straight murderer killers walking the streets, like peacefully, like they're out there living their best lives, all right? What a place Guyana is. What a place.
I don't know, what a place indeed. Murderers, drug lords, gold smuggler, took all the land, give it to their friends and cronies. Imagine one family alone owned 83,000. Your friend, those sanctioned guys, the Mohammeds, 83,000 acres of land. All manner of things, compliments of the corrupt PPP regime. All right. Lots of other things we want to talk about, but Tom, I'm not going to be selfish at all, man. Anything else you wish to say before you go? I know you're a little under the weather after having a busy 2 weeks, man. I'm not going to say what you were up to all over the place, but anything else you wish to say before you go, sir?
No, man. I mean, everything is great. Thanks for having me on again. hello, good night to everybody. Yeah, with the way things are going, and some of the things I've seen recently, I have to say that the hardworking people on planet Earth are facing some trying times. The hardworking people, the people who make the world go round, the people who are the salt of the earth right now, the people who get up every morning, who raise their families, who dutifully do their jobs, and they do the right thing when no one's looking. That group of people is being taxed heavy right now, everywhere they turn. The planet, the weight of the planet is being put on their shoulders. And so those people, wherever you are, whether it's in Guyana, or whether it's in Dublin, or whether it's in Newport, Rhode Island, or Miami, Florida, these are the people who are really feeling it now. And these are the people who I believe we all should be thinking about, praying about, and voting for. So when we go to vote, we need to be voting for the politicians and the political parties who represent those people that we all know who do the right thing when no one's looking. Those people we all know who raise their families right, who have beautiful children, who are responsible, who bring more to this world than they take out. Those are the people we need to be voting for to get support from and to get support to. And so however that works in Guyanese politics, I won't say, I cannot say as an outsider, but I can say that those are the people you want to be voting for, are the ones who have proposals and who have a history to show that that's who they support, are the people who are the foundation of all of our societies, the ones who hardly ever get any attention, they hardly ever get any pat on the back, but day in and day out, without any mention at all, or any pat on the back, they make the world go round. We all rely upon them. It's time that we start voting politicians in office who support those people. And that's all I have to say. And I think that's how I look at this going forward. And I think that works no matter where you are, anywhere in the world when you vote. If that's what you're voting for, or people who look out for those people, I think the world is going to be just fine.
Thank you so much, Tom Anderson there. We're going to talk a little more about the book next week when you recover fully, because people are asking, they want to start purchasing that book. Go on Tom Anderson's page and inbox him for any question or questions concerning the book. Nothing else, right? Tom, speedy recovery, my friend. And thank you so much for your contributions right here on 107.1 FM. Thank you. Yeah. Tom Anderson there for you guys. Speedy recovery to that brother. We'll take a quick break and we'll be back. We still have a few minutes remaining. I want to see some of your comments as it pertains to the elections, but we'll take a quick commercial break and be right back. And I do mean commercial break. That's the vision he claims to have for Guyana, which amounts to nothing. All over the people in Blackbush poll that they don't know what is it. What's the vision of the PPP? They have absolutely no vision. They don't know where they want to take the country other than corruption upon corruption and all manner of things. And you tell me, with all that you're seeing right now, forget about the cash grants. How many persons right now, you call them? Today, a good friend of mine, he assisted in painting and so forth when I was in Guyana, called and said, "His cash grants over. It's done with." And how many person you call them right now? And those of you who are watching this program right now, y'all still have cash grant remaining? Yanet O'Neill and all of you guys, Jacqueline Johnson, Raquel Gentle, all of you, Mary Figueroa, Patrick, anybody, any one of you, you still have that cash grant? Watch by next week what they're going to do. They're going to go into the Amerindian or indigenous community. They're going to go to the quarantine. They're going to go to Linden. They're going to go to Kokwani and those places. And they are going to hand out cash grants because they want to use it to buy votes. That's what they're going to do. So all throughout their campaign, when they go in your community to speak, nothing they say makes sense. And that is why I'm going to say again, we'll take a commercial break and play this political ad because it adds up. It amounts to nothing, absolutely nothing. And you can sing along because on September 1st, keep this in mind, keep nothing in mind when you vote because he's saying nothing, absolutely nothing. Here we go. It's a political ad. How many of you can sing that song? You know, that's got to be a hit tune in Guyana. And then you get the song, and then you get this too. What's happening? Is this what you guys gonna go on September 1st to vote for? You've got to be kidding me. Come on.
You ready? Fuck, let me go now. Hear me sing now. Go the walk, go the walk, go the walk, everything. Go the walk, truck, go the walk, go the walk. Body walk, everything, body. Listen, body jump, body jump, body jump, everything, body jump, body jump.
These guys are fixated to these sort of songs. Fixated so much that every commercial that should be playing right now in Guyana, anti-PPP commercial, do not be afraid to say you're going to vote against them. Do not be afraid to say you're going to vote the corrupt PPP out of office. But what Tom Anderson said just now, be careful where you put your X. You want to vote for people who fight for you. You want to vote for people who represent your interest. You'd want to vote for people who have a track record of standing up for your community, standing up for your rights, standing up against injustices, standing up against the corrupt PPP regime. Read between the lines. Do not waste your vote on people who are basically dung and trying to save themselves. Read between the lines. Alhamdulillah. I'm sorry about that. I just had to squeeze the one in, right? We want to take another commercial break. It's a political commercial break. You've got to vote the PPP out, and the heat is now starting up, mind you. It's now starting up. There's a particular song that goes, the heat is on, right? The heat is on. The PPP is on the back foot. It's a pity that some people just decide that they gone on their own way. They gone on their own. They gone, sir. They gone, sir. Some don't even have a track record of fighting for nothing. It is what it is, man. It is what it is. Oops, just took a selfie there. Okay, let's hit the campaign right side. You know me and my little shades. Some of you guys gonna want to tackle me and say all sort of things. Oh, Mark, this. It's okay. It's political season, right? You want to vote for people who have a track record. And a track record doesn't mean that you're going to say your grandmother, grandfather, great-grandmother, great-grandfather, great this, great. Your track record now. And that is what is important. And so when you guys go out there to vote, vote smart. Don't be tricked. Don't allow emotions to get the better half of you. Don't do that at all because you'll just be wasting your vote. Now, I'm not telling you guys who to vote for now. But at some point in time, I've got to take a side. I've got to take a side. Now is not the time to sit on the fence. Now is not the time to pussyfoot around. You've got to take a side. You can't say, oh, me taking no side. You got to take a side. And I'm still watching. I like fighters. I love fighters. I do. I will be taking a side. But we still have time. We still have time. Some of you might be smiling there. We still have time. There's something about this political ad that I actually like.
गोरी 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 कभी कभी कहीं कहीं चोरी चोरी छुप छुप के तुम मिला करो प्यारी प्यारी बातें बातें किया करो पर यूं ना मिलना किसी से कभी हमारे सिवा गोरी 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 बोले बोले नए नए गोरी गोरी.
Really, and this country got some really stupid people, really. And this.
A lot of comedians, lots and lots of comedians, lots and lots of comics, lots and lots of jokers. And you know, look, I gotta play for the week. This guy is a joker too, whatever his name is. Take a listen to this joker.
Good morning. My name is Basil Blackman, AA. I'm a former...
I bet this guy Short Jack is so long, way past his knees. But listen to him. He thinks he's a powerhouse. Good morning. My name is whatever the heck, Blackman. Good morning, sub drinkers. Take a listen to him because he makes absolutely no sense. And this is what you guys are gonna go vote September 1st. The PVP got to go. Listen to this sub drinker. He has no idea what he's talking about. Listen to this soup drinker. If you related to this soup drinker, call him right now.
Good morning. My name is Basil Blackman, AA. I'm a former executive member of the PNC APNU regime for over 15 years since my return to Guyana. I have recognized.
So he has been a member of the PNC for over 50 years. I bet my last 50 cents that this guy spent over 30-something years outside of Guyana. 50 years as a PNC member. 30, most of those years outside of Guyana. Who these Pakus fooling, man? Who these Pakus fooling? And his name is Blackman. Basil Blackman.
Good morning. My name is Basil Blackman, AA. I'm a former executive member of the PNC APNU regime for over 15 years since my return to Guyana. I have recognized in the last 5 years since the PPP government, with the leadership of Dr. Irfan Ali and Vice President Jagdeo and team, has taken control of this country, the development that has taken here. They have made a reality of making 50,000 households, putting them in homes. They have developed a fantastic infrastructure in this country that is difficult to imagine that they have achieved. they have dropped taxes for the poor. They have made education free from university to kindergarten. The strides that they are going in terms of for the next 5 years, I am sure is going to be another tremendous development.
Waste of time. The PPP, drug lords, money launderers, gold smuggling, he should have been reading that from a script. But that guy, I have one final say, a last say on that guy. He reminds me of the movie Chucky. How many of you saw the movie Chucky? Well, that guy is what Chucky looks like right now. He is the older version of Chucky. Basil Chucky Blackman. Basil Chucky Blackman. Give him a call right now. Basil Chucky Blackman. And guess what? My name is Mark Benshaw. I'll see you guys back tomorrow night. Same place, same time. Yeah, 1 hour. That's it. I'm out of here. Here is the political ad. The political ad as you prepare to vote on September 1st. Vote the corrupt PPP out of office. I've got to take a side, right? I'm going to let you know who I want to support. I like fighters. I like real fighters, strong fighters, competent fighters. I'm out of here. God bless you all.
My name is Jacinty Caldata, Francis Wakenham, and since 1965 I become a voter, and I always place my X next to the cup, and what they are doing today, I can't take it. So I have no more vote to give to PPP anymore. I'm not going to vote anymore no more. If they have to lose by 1 vote, they're losing it by data.
You could probably, on the maritime area, give Venezuela a channel out to the sea. So you make a slight concession in the maritime area.
Sit there and fabricate that. Unless you say who the person is, I can't comment on anonymous people.
Okay, well, let's talk about specific individuals. What is your relationship with Mr. Su Jurong?
Su? Oh, Su? My relationship?
Persons can do so peacefully, and they can, but blocking the road for hours is something that affects
Mr. Ali, I saw you blocking road. Yes, Mr. Ali.
I'm just telling you.
Mr. Ali, there are videos with you protesting, you being a scrape and a tug. Mr. Ali, this is not, listen, sometimes we gotta put our position aside.
This is not position.
No, we gotta put our position aside and place ourselves into people's shoes. You gotta understand, even those persons who were traveling, yes, they were inconvenienced, but they understood the reason. They understood the reason. We understand the inconvenience.
Just for the police. guilty! The police guilty! The police guilty! Are you guilty, man? Are you doing this, man? Are you doing this? Are you doing it? Are you fucking doing it, man? Are you doing this? Are you doing it? Are you doing it? Are you doing it? Are you doing it?
That is saying 7 feet 6 inches, 5 feet 5 inches. If you look at it, right? They're saying 5'5". They're saying 7'6". They're saying 8 feet. So for 8 feet is reasonable depth for a pool. So you would have to go in and check in the pool, right? The young lady is not in the pool. So it could be ruled out that she drowned.
We checked this pool this morning. What? We checked this pool this morning. This young lady was not in this pool. This girl was not in this pool. This girl was not in this pool. She was not in here. We checked in this pool. The girl was not in there this morning when we come here. We went in this place. This girl was not in here. The girl was not in there, boy. What the fuck? They put this girl in this pool, boy. The fucking girl went in there. We went in there just now, boy. What the fuck, boy? That's why they didn't want nobody come in the place. They didn't want nobody come in the place. What? What? That girl was not in the pool. We was here since 7:40 this morning. That girl was not in the pool at 7:40. She was not in the pool at 7:40. But the girl knee has scrape up. Watch how this girl is. The girl knee scrape up. Clearly shows.